Much. John.
The 9/11 Commission cited intelligence failures leading up to the September 11th attacks. Now, an attempted terror attack comes very close to bringing down a packed passenger jet involving a suspect who should have been on the CIA's radar screen. So what can be done to ensure that our intelligence agencies take advantage of the information they get in the future and prevent this kind of thing from happening again? Let's talk about it with Stewart Verdery, a former Assistant Secretary at the Department of Homeland Security during the Bush administration. Stewart, when you look at the big picture here, and I know we're still sort of early in this investigation, what do you think was missed?
Well, I think the president has it about right. Obviously, the dots were not connected. We had intelligence on this individual, multiple sources, multiple pieces, and our inspectors at Customs and TSA are only as good as the intelligence they provided to them, and it looks like they just were not armed with the information they needed to make the decisions to deny him entry to the United States.
You've heard criticisms from the Democratic side who say, hey, wait a minute, national security is not something that should be politicized, should not be partisan. And yet there are a number of Republicans taking shots at the president over the way this has been handled. What do you think of that?
Well, I'd prefer not to make it a partisan issue. I think these are operational failures by well-intended career officials dealing with tough environments, tough fragments of information, lots of sources, lots of allegations, lots of associations. I don't think it's a partisan thing. I do think, though, the president and his team have an opportunity to move forward in a number of areas. There's a lot of loopholes that can be closed, better screening equipment at our airports and overseas, building out more of the entry-exit facilities for checking people out of the country, trusted traveler programs. There's a lot that can be done moving forward.
The Dutch just announced that they're going to use those full-body imaging machines for U.S.-bound flights. Those things have been available in this country, and there's been an uproar from people who say it's an invasion of privacy. Do you think that this kind of an incident will bring those machines to use in this country?
I sure hope so. I think that the privacy outcry has been overstated. I think it's time to move past that. I think we've heard the line that we ought to have one set of airplanes for people who are willing to provide information ahead of time and go through good screening, another set of airlines that probably couldn't be insured for people who don't want to provide any information and go through any screening. I think we need to move past the privacy allegations and make it secure for Americans and also for foreigners coming in. We need those securities, we need those foreign visitors, and we need to explain to them what our procedures are. If we're going to have new machines, new procedures, we need to go out and explain to them, promote America as a destination that's secure and welcoming.
Back to the Democrat versus Republican battle for just a moment. Former Vice President Dick Cheney has not been shy about criticizing the Obama administration that succeeded yours, the Bush administration, and he has added again, he says, we are at war, and when President Obama pretends we aren't, it makes us less safe. Why doesn't he want to admit we're at war? Does he have a point?
Well, I think that's a term of semantics. I think of this as Homeland Security. We need to have the procedures in place to find the bad guys. Whether you want to call it a war or something else, that's for others to decide. I do think, though, it does show that we focused internally this year on the economy and other issues. We've invested resources on Homeland Security internally. We need to think Homeland Security is more broad than just the United States. It's international mobility, it's aviation, it's cargo, and I think the administration needs to take a broader view of what Homeland Security means. I'll leave it for the politicians to figure out how they want to call this.
Democrats have said that one of the problems is that a Republican senator is blocking the appointment of Mr. Obama's suggested head for the Transportation Security Administration. Does that make a difference? Would it make a difference here?
Well, I think we have good career people at TSA, and I'm sure having new leadership over there will be helpful. But I think we also need new leadership at Customs and Border Protection. Their nominee hasn't had a confirmation hearing. I think the Obama administration needs to get their full team in place. But again, I don't think there's any way that you can say that the fact that this gentleman wasn't confirmed has caused this incident. Let's move forward. Let's find the right leadership. Move forward at Customs and TSA and also the other partners. I think we can move forward together and leave some of the partisan politics behind.
Stewart Verdery, who was a top leader at the Department of Homeland Security in the Bush administration. Stewart, thank you.
Thank you.
Breaking news now out of Somalia. We are learning right now that a man tried to board a commercial jetliner in Mogadishu last month carrying powdered chemicals. Chemicals that could, in fact, have caused an explosion similar to the Detroit case. Now, the Associated Press is reporting African Union peacekeeping troops arrested the unidentified man back on November 13th. The plane had been scheduled to fly from Mogadishu to northern Somalia. A Somali police spokesman saying they do not know at this point if the suspect is is tied to al-Qaeda, but he does remain in custody in Somalia.
The Iranian government is denying reports it's trying to import uranium from Kazakhstan. The deal outlined in an intelligence report shows Tehran is attempting to import 1,350 tons of the ore known as yellowcake. Kazakhstan is denying its involvement. Such an acquisition would violate UN sanctions, and thousands take to the streets of Tehran today, this time for a government-sponsored demonstration. The rally is also protesting the disruption of an annual Shiite Muslim religious observance this weekend when protests against the regime turned violent. Today, Iran's police chief promised there would be no mercy for the anti-government protesters. Security forces killed at least 8 people in violent clashes on Sunday, including the nephew of opposition leader Mir Hussein Mousavi.
And now a look at the markets. Some uneasiness today as we end the year, especially in the price of oil. It is finishing the year way up from where it started. So what happens if the price continues to rise?